Yesterday, after Algeria's defeat against Argentina, head coach Vladimir Petkovic appeared before the press with an obvious mix of frustration, respect, and resignation. It was not only the pain of losing in the World Cup opener, it was not only the weight of starting the tournament with a 3-0 defeat. Above all, it was the feeling that his team had moments when it could have competed better, caused more problems, and shown a different side. But standing in front of them was Argentina. And standing in front of them was Lionel Messi. And when Messi shows up on a night like that, everything changes. The Algerian coach was clear from the very beginning. He did not want to hide behind the result, nor reduce everything to the superiority of the world champion. For Petkovic, Algeria made mistakes that, in a normal match, are already dangerous. But against Messi, they are simply unforgivable. Because there are opponents who forgive a poor build-up, a late mark, or a loose ball inside the box. Messi does not. Messi turns those details into history. "I'm left with a bitter taste," the coach reportedly acknowledged, "because I feel Algeria could have given more. We had prepared a serious match. We knew we were going to suffer at certain moments, but we also knew we could compete. And when you finish a match like this, with the feeling that you gave away too much, it's impossible to be satisfied." The night had begun with enormous expectations. Argentina arrived as world champion, with the obligation to defend its crown, and with the eyes of millions of people once again fixed on Lionel Messi. This was not just another match. It was the debut in another World Cup. It was the return of the Argentine captain to the stage where he had written unforgettable pages so many times before. And beyond that, it was a night loaded with symbolism. Messi was playing another World Cup match, he was approaching the age of 39, and still, he remained the absolute center of everything. There had been doubts before the match, logical doubts. People were talking about his physical condition, about how he was arriving after some discomfort, about whether he could sustain the pace of an entire World Cup, about whether Scaloni would manage his minutes more carefully than usual. But as soon as the match began, those doubts started to disappear. Messi did not need to run like before. He did not need to make unnecessary efforts. It was enough for him to understand the game better than everyone else, to move at the right moment, to receive the ball where he could do the most damage, to prove that the most dangerous speed is not always in the legs, but in the mind. Petkovic insisted that the scoreline did not only reflect the difference between the two national teams, but also Algeria's lack of precision in key moments. According to his analysis, the problem was not only defending under pressure, but losing concentration right when Argentina started to accelerate. And when Argentina accelerates with Messi as its conductor, any distraction comes at a very high price. Against Argentina, you cannot switch off for even 5 seconds, and against Messi, even less. If you give him 1 meter, he sees a play that others do not see. If you give him 2, he punishes you. And if on top of that, you make mistakes near the box, you are practically inviting him to decide the match. The first blow came early, and it was emotional. Messi opened the scoring and, for a few seconds, showed an unusual image, emotion breaking across his face, tears appearing after the goal, his shirt brought up to his face to wipe his eyes. It was not an ordinary celebration, it was a release. After the match, Messi himself explained that he had been going through difficult days away from soccer, and that the emotion was not related to the ball, but to personal matters he preferred not to detail. Even so, he thanked his teammates, the coaching staff, and the entire delegation for supporting him. That moment made the night carry even more weight, because it was not just about a goal. It was Messi, once again, turning an emotional burden into soccer. It was Messi, once again, appearing when everyone was watching him. It was Messi once again, showing that even the biggest nights can also be crossed by intimate feelings, by silences, by things the public does not see, but that are also part of the story. From that point on, Argentina played with greater calm. The opening goal freed the team. The midfielders began to find better passing lanes, the fullbacks dared to push forward, and the forwards started moving with more confidence. But everything still went through Messi. Every time he touched the ball, the match seemed to fall into order. Every time he lifted his head, Algeria took half a step back. Every time he received between the lines, the stadium held its breath. Despite the frustration, the Algerian coach did not want to turn the defeat into an excuse. He acknowledged that Argentina was superior in the details, that it managed the rhythm of the match better, and that it had in Messi a player capable of turning any small advantage into a decisive situation. We all know who Messi is. We did not discover anything yesterday. For me, he is still the best in the world. Maybe you prepare the match thinking about how to reduce his influence, how to close his passing lanes, how to force him to play far from goal. But then the match starts, the ball reaches him, he lifts his head, and everything you prepared becomes much more difficult. The second goal finished tilting the match. It was another display of opportunism, of reading the play, of that ability Messi has to be exactly where he needs to be even when the play seems confusing. Algeria failed again at a critical moment, and Messi punished them again. Petkovic, without pointing to specific names, admitted that his team had allowed too many comfortable shots and too many clean situations. And against Argentina, that is already a problem. Against Messi, it is almost a sentence. What was impressive was that Messi did not play like someone who simply wanted to reach a record. He played like someone who wanted to win, like someone who still understands that the Argentina shirt is above any personal statistic. After the match, he also spoke about the importance of starting the World Cup with a victory, because the first match is always difficult. And his words reflected the same thing that was seen on the field: joy, relief, ambition, and a huge connection with the group. Messi said he felt good physically, emphasized that this was his 6th World Cup, and that he still felt capable of competing. But the strongest part came when he spoke about enjoying the present. After everything he has been through, after so many years of criticism, defeats, lost finals, redemptions, and glory, Messi described this stage as a kind of final reward, as if everything he is now living with the national team were the cherry on top of a career that already seemed complete, but that still continues adding impossible chapters. Petkovic also stressed that Algeria did not go out to play with fear. According to him, the team tried to press, tried to push its lines higher, and tried not to remain trapped near its own box for the entire 90 minutes. However, he admitted that the execution was not at the level required by a World Cup stage. "I do not think we came in with fear. I think we came in with respect. And there is a difference. We respected Argentina because it is the world champion, because it has extraordinary players, and because it has a very clear identity. But we did not want to just watch the match from the back. We wanted to compete. The problem is that to compete against these kinds of teams, intention is not enough. You have to sustain it with precision, personality, and concentration." That was perhaps the great lesson for Algeria. During certain stretches, the African team tried to keep the ball, look for its more technical players, and avoid resigning itself to defending close to its own area. But Argentina has a competitive maturity that carries weight. It does not panic. It does not need to dominate every minute to feel superior. It knows how to wait. It knows how to choose its moments. And, above all, it knows that in Messi, it has a player capable of solving matches that would be uncomfortable for others. The coach was especially self-critical about the way Algeria allowed Messi to receive the ball in comfortable areas. Although he praised his players' effort, he recognized that the defensive plan failed to contain the Argentine captain during the most decisive moments. Petkovic even left a reflection that sounded almost inevitable. "You can study Messi for hours, but there are things that simply cannot be prepared for." You can study Messi for hours. You can watch videos, analyze his movements, prepare coverages. But there is one part that cannot be trained: his ability to appear at the right moment, to decide with calm, to make simple what would be impossible for others. That is the difference, and that is why it is so difficult to beat him. The third goal was the definitive confirmation that the night belonged to him. Messi completed his hat trick with a powerful, precise finish, full of authority. And with that goal, he not only closed the match, he also equaled Miroslav Klose's historic record as the all-time leading scorer in men's World Cup history. 16 goals, 6 World Cups, 2 decades leaving his mark on the most important tournament on the planet. The stadium rose to its feet when he was substituted. It was not just any ovation. It was one of those ovations that mix admiration, gratitude, and historical awareness. The Argentine fans sent him off the way you send off someone who keeps gifting impossible moments. But many neutral fans applauded him as well, because there are nights when greatness becomes too obvious to debate. For Petkovic, the defeat leaves an important lesson. Algeria cannot allow itself to compete only in moments. In a World Cup, and especially in such a demanding group, every detail counts. That is why, beyond the emotional blow, the coach tried to send a message of calm to his players and to the fans. We have to learn quickly. We cannot stay only with the sadness. Of course it hurts. Of course there is anger. But this tournament did not end yesterday. We have to lift our heads, correct what we did wrong, and understand that we still depend on ourselves. If we stay stuck regretting what happened against Argentina, then we really will be in trouble. On a night of tears, goals, records, and ovations, the Argentine captain reminded the world once again that his story is not over yet. And as long as Messi continues playing like this, Argentina has the right to dream.